What's up YouTube? I honestly cannot believe this is a real phone. The Samsung Fold 2. A smartphone disguised as a flip phone. It comes with a Snapdragon 4 processor, a compassive touchscreen, paired with a full T9 keyboard, and a release that was exclusive to Korea and China. Sorry, United States. So today, we're going to dive into the smart flip phone and see what it's all about and see if it actually stood up in the United States market. This is the unboxing gadget. Let's dive in and explore. Let's get it. Alright, so before we get started, check this out. This phone can play Call of Duty Mobile. Nah, I'm just messing. But how cool would it be if this phone actually could play Call of Duty Mobile? Walking around playing Call of Duty Mobile on your flip phone. Nah, the possibilities are there. Not really. But either way, let's get back to the video. Now, of course, this phone is a flip phone, so its form factor is a flip phone. And the display is a 3.H TFT LCD display, 400 by 800 pixels. Not bad, not great. In sunlight, it gets the job done. Indoors, it definitely works. Otherwise, like I said, it's a Snapdragon 425 quad-core 1.4 gigahertz processor. Not bad for the time, but of course, in 2025, kind of doesn't stand up. The RAM is 2 gigs of RAM, internal storage 16 gigabytes, which is pretty good. It's not bad. And then of course, we're on Android 6.0 Marshmallow, which is at this point outdated. Now, I wanted to see if I can upgrade to a different Android version, but no. It doesn't allow me. If anyone knows how to do that, I think that'd be pretty cool to have this phone upgraded. But yeah, I'm on Android 6.0 Marshmallow. Alright, so for cameras, we have the rear camera, which is an 8 megapixel, and the front camera, which is a 5 megapixel camera. Not bad. I mean, honestly, I don't know if you would be using this phone to take pictures anyway, so it gets the job done. And then the battery, we have a removable battery, which is pretty cool. 19 by 50 mega amp battery, which is not bad. So it lasts all day, no issues on that. So pretty good for a flip phone. Alright, so let's move on to the performance and software. Now, to be honest, this is not a bad phone for 2025. I think it works pretty well. Now, navigating screens and opening and closing apps works pretty good. I'm not really experiencing any slowdowns or anything like that, considering this phone is still running Android 6.0. Now, by all means, this isn't a phone you would go scroll on social media, play heavy intensive games or anything like that. I think this is just a phone if you want something just to get the job done. And it's a smartphone, so it does two things at once: flip phone, smartphone. That's about it. Now, I do want to touch on one thing that I did see this phone kind of being used for. Now, this phone could be used for what they call a dumb phone, the phone that kind of distracts you from social media and just, doom scrolling. And I think this might be a good choice. Now, granted, you can still install Instagram, X, and everything else on it, but you're kind of limited to what you can do with it. So I think this is a good phone if you want to kind of go down that route of having a phone that kind of limits you from distractions. I think the Samsung Fold 2 is a perfect phone to do that. So with that being said, let's move on. Alright, so the main point I made this video: why would you get a flip phone and why would you get this phone in 2025? Now, there are a few points to be made why this might be a good phone to get. Number one, digital detox. I think this is a pretty good phone to help reduce screen time and social media addiction or doom scrolling. Now, granted, you can download Instagram, X, Reddit, whatever on this phone, but the phone doesn't really allow you to navigate those things like a normal iPhone or Galaxy would. It just kind of limits you based off the screen and the form factor. So use this phone to have kind of like less distractions, remove yourself away from the world of constant notifications. Battery life. This phone actually lasts pretty long time. It can last a full day, especially if you aren't scrolling. You can last maybe 2 or 3 days on this phone with just texting and calling. So battery life is pretty good. The retro vibe. I think this phone has a pretty cool vibe to it. You can flip it up, call, you can still browse the internet, you can still do things with the phone, just like a normal smartphone. So I think the aesthetics and the cool retro vibe makes it a pretty good option to use. And lastly, my main point of why this might be a good option is the phone does what it's supposed to do: call. So it does a great job call. The buttons are big. You can easily call somebody, flip it up, call without any hesitation. So I think this flip phone does what phones are exactly supposed to do: call. So, those are my main points of why I think this phone can still be used in 2025, and honestly, it's a pretty good choice. Alright, so there it is. The Samsung Fold 2. A smartphone that's a flip phone that's a smartphone. Drop a comment below, guys, if you still use this phone, or if you're planning to use it in the future. Either way, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.